If you believe stories can change how we treat each other, if you believe courage sometimes arrives on two wheels in a low rumble, and if you want more true-feeling stories about justice, loyalty, and unexpected heroes in modern America, hit subscribe right now and stay with us, because what you're about to hear starts on an ordinary school sidewalk and ends in a way nobody saw coming. And once you start, you won't be able to stop listening. Every afternoon at 3:27 p.m. when the yellow buses sighed away and the last bell faded into the brick walls of Hawthorne Ridge Middle School, the same thing happened like clockwork. Three girls, Maya, 14, with a backpack patched in duct tape, her little sister Alina, who was only 12 and walked half a step behind her like a shadow trying to learn confidence, and their friend Jess, whose laugh had gone quiet months ago, waited until the teachers cleared the parking lot and then took the long way home because the short way meant the underpass. And the underpass meant the boys, the ones who didn't think of themselves as bullies but as kings of a cracked concrete kingdom where no adults watched, where insults flew like pebbles and sometimes fists followed, where phones came out to record tears as trophies. And it had started with words, always words first, names that stuck like burrs. Poor girl, thrift store, charity case, and escalated into shoves, backpacks dumped, homework scattered into gutter water, and the kind of fear that turns a mile into a gauntlet. The girls never told anyone because telling had made things worse once when a vice principal called the boys' parents, and the parents called their sons liars, and the sons came back smiling because Hawthorne Ridge sat between a closed factory and a strip mall with a payday loan shop, and people learned early not to expect rescue. So the girls learned routines instead, learned which streets had porches with people on them, learned how to walk faster without running, learned to laugh at the right moments so the boys might get bored. Except boredom never came, only creativity. Like the day they blocked the sidewalk with bikes and made Maya choose between stepping into traffic or apologizing for a crime she didn't commit. And she chose the street, and a truck horn blared, and the boys howled, and the sound followed her into her dreams that night, and the next day, and the next. What none of them knew was that across the street from the underpass, behind a shuttered auto parts store with faded letters ghosting the bricks, a group of bikers met on Thursdays, men and women with road names and scars, and an agreement older than most grudges, that you don't mess with kids, that you watch the road, that sometimes you see things others look past. And they noticed patterns because patterns are what keep you alive on highways, the way the girl's head stayed down, the way laughter cut too sharp to be funny, the way one of the boys kicked a backpack like a goal and no one stopped him. And one of the bikers, a woman everyone called Redline for the streak in her hair and the way she rode corners, felt something twist because she had been that age once with a father who drank and a town that shrugged. And she told the club what she saw, not as a complaint, but as a fact. And facts matter to riders, so they decided to watch, just watch at first, engines off, helmets in hand, because intervention is a line you don't cross lightly. The next afternoon, the boys escalated, cornering Jess and demanding her phone for inspection. And when she refused, one of them yanked it free and tossed it into the underpass puddle. And the sound Jess made then wasn't a cry, but a small animal noise that cut through the late summer heat, and Redline stepped forward before she thought better of it. And the bikers followed because when one moves, all move, and the boys froze. Bravado evaporating in the presence of adults who looked like consequences, and Redline didn't yell or threaten. She asked for the phone, calm as a cop, and the boy laughed until a man named Bishop, huge, bearded, voice like gravel, knelt and fished the phone out and handed it back. And then the bikers left, deliberately, because the point was presence, not punishment. And the boys' laughter came back thin and brittle as soon as engines faded. And that night, a video hit social media with a caption about wannabe bikers, and comments bloomed like mold. And the boys felt bold again, and the girls felt worse because now they had made things bigger, and bigger is dangerous. The twist came a week later when Maya's mother lost her second job, and the power flickered, and the fridge hummed into silence, and the girls did homework by candlelight. And Maya decided she'd walk Alina to a friend's house after school for dinner because kindness had a way of showing up sideways, and the underpass waited like a mouth, and the boys waited with it. And this time, there were more of them, older ones pulled in by online clout, and they surrounded the girls and started a chant that felt rehearsed. And someone shoved Alina hard enough that she fell and scraped her knee, and something in Maya snapped, and she screamed, not at them but at the world, and the scream carried. And Redline heard it from across the street where the club was fixing a bike, and engines roared, not as threat but as alarm, and they rolled up slow, lights on, phones out, because the second twist was that the bikers weren't there to fight. They were there to film, to witness, to call it in. Because Redline had spent the week talking to a retired teacher who volunteered with a legal clinic, and the clinic had talked to a local reporter who was sick of writing fluff pieces, and the reporter had talked to a city council member up for re-election, and suddenly the underpass wasn't invisible. And when police arrived, this time, there were statements and footage and parents who couldn't deny what was on screen, and the boys were separated and escorted home. And the girls were taken to the station with Redline riding behind the squad car like a silent promise, and charges were filed. Not life, ruining ones, but enough to matter. And restraining orders followed, and the school was forced to admit a problem it had minimized, and counselors were assigned, and a crossing guard appeared like a miracle. And the reporter's story ran with a photo of the bikers standing back, deliberately out of focus, because heroes don't always need their faces known. Months passed, and the girls' route home changed, and their shoulders eased. And Jess laughed again, and Maya joined the debate team because she learned words could be weapons and shields, and Alina learned to ride a bike without fear, and the bikers kept meeting on Thursdays, watching patterns, doing food drives, because once you look, you can't unsee. And the final twist came when one of the boys showed up at the auto parts store one afternoon, hands in pockets, eyes on the ground, and Bishop listened as the kid said he was sorry. Not because he got caught, but because his little sister started at Hawthorne Ridge and came home, crying. And Bishop nodded and said sorry as a start and sent him to the clinic to volunteer, because accountability can be a road too. And on the anniversary of the scream, Maya stood at the edge of the underpass with Redline and watched sunlight spill where shadows used to pool. And she realized the story wasn't about bikers saving girls or villains getting punished. It was about adults choosing to notice, about community stepping in where systems failed, about fear shrinking when faced. Together. And if you're still here listening, remember that sometimes the loudest engines are the ones that wake a town up, and sometimes the bravest thing you can do is hit subscribe and keep paying attention, because the next story might be unfolding on your street right now.